I think we all have the COVID.
Welcome to Still Doing Happy Hour.
Welcome to the Still Dripping Happy Hour. This is your host, Mason. And on the move tonight, we got Daniel King. What's up, Dan? You might be muted.
The the man, the myth, the person who never shows up for these kind of deals. So,
Hey,
welcome back to myself.
last episode of the year is the most important one, I think. So you made it. You're the only other one that made it. So congratulations.
Makes up for what the other 79 episodes I missed this
Yep.
year. There's only 52 in a year, but I missed all 79. So,
Well, ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Dan, who is battling the elements and some manufactured diseases, maybe, to be with us tonight, to bring you this exclusive content. It's going to be a classic.
it's going to be a
So,
banger. Your ears are going to be dripping gold by the end of this podcast. So, make sure to lock in, buckle up, and listen in.
yeah, we've got some fan content, some followers that contributed to the show a little bit. So we'll get to that
Mm,
later. We're gonna
hmm
just pretty much what you're seeing on YouTube right now. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. Is our year in review cover. If you're not on YouTube, go to YouTube so you can see all the fancy, beautiful things. You
hmm
can't see Dan because he's potting in the dark right now, so you can see some shadow of his face. But
Pod Dark right
anyways,
here.
Dan, catch us up, man. How have you been? We missed you.
Oh, keeping some humans alive. For those of you who are not aware of my personal life, I have 2 children, which I think most people still question why someone who looks like they're 15 has 2 children, but it is what it is. And, keeping them alive, new jobs, new work, all sorts of things going on, but we're moving up in the world. We all may have the vid right now, thanks to some Christmas shenanigans, but you know what? It was always worth it, so I think. We'll find out how it gets.
We'll see.
TBD on
Oh.
that.
Well, you guys have a good Christmas besides the vid?
Oh, it was a great Christmas. It was great. Miss Lucy, 10-month-old, has no idea what's going on.
Right.
She was sick as a dog, so she might have been the first vid contestant, we just don't know. And then, Abigail is now getting sick, so that's perfect. But I think this was the first year she kinda understood what Santa was. We are doing
Yep.
Santa, which I know is controversial for some people, but, that is a definite have to in our house. So it was fun to do reindeer food and read The Night Before Christmas and all the things that I loved growing up. So it's very fun. As the Instagrammers say, it was fun to see Christmas through a child's eyes this year. So
Indeed. Yeah, Elliot was there a little bit. We did the cookies and milk.
mhm.
And we threw some candy canes outside for the reindeer because we watched a movie and apparently reindeer eat candy canes. So that's about the extent of what we did. If
We
you
had she made reindeer food at school, and it was actually honestly
mm,
pretty aggressive. It was pretzels and Chex Mix and M&Ms, and my in-laws have dogs, and I was like, "I'm about to kill their dogs for Christmas." I'm, like, throwing M&Ms out in this yard, and they're gonna find these things, so I had to figure out where the electric fence boundary was, and then we had to walk past that and spread out the Christmas cheer for the reindeers, so
that is so funny. That's funny you say that because we put Elliot's cookies out for Santa. We put some gingerbread cookies out on his like train table. And we put him to bed and I came back. Both cookies are gone. Our dog never eats food. She won't even eat food. Like if we tell her no, she won't eat it off the ground. And apparently she thought that these cookies on this Santa plate were hers for the taking. So we put another one out there. I take 2 bites out of it so it looks like Santa's eating it. And we come back. The whole cookie is in her mouth. She has not eaten it yet, but it's just slobbery and disgusting. I was like, "You're kidding! Like, how many cookies are we gonna have to go through for Santa to eat?" So, yeah, it was
Oh, that's
quite the night
amazing.
for our pup, but we made it. We put them up on the counter and then put them down the next day. So Christmas morning, there were half-eaten cookies.
Yo, that's amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
I
I
will
think I
say
might have
though,
froze up.
having the kids thing though with Christmas, it is like 1,000 times more exhausting, but it is also like 1,000 times more fun. It's
Yeah.
like when you're living your normal life, you're not married, you don't have kids, like your fun scale is like, I don't know, -5 to 5. You can only have fun to like a 5. And then you get married and it goes from like -20 is being the worst to like 20, you're having, the best time of your life. And then you have kids and it's like there's absolutely no boundaries. It's just like you can be the lowest of the lows, like -1,000,000, and you can be the highest of the highs.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no in between. So,
Absolutely. It's yeah. It is children do not hold grudges. They don't understand that. So they could be terribly mad at you for doing something 1 minute and then they just bring you so much joy the next minute. You're like, I don't
we
understand.
this is not a kids podcast, so this is our last topic. But we had Abigail, the 2.5-year-old. She got a Minnie Mouse purse, and you decorate it by yourself. So there were Sharpies, and there were like glitter things. There's all sorts of things. So she was getting after it. Well, unbeknownst to us, we got home, we started unpacking, and we forgot to take the markers out of old Minnie Mouse's purse. And Brooke and I were getting things, squared away around here, and we look up, and Abigail had taken all her clothes off and had markered all over her cheeks and all over her belly, and walked up to Brooke and said, "Look, Mom, I'm a lion. Roar." And that was one of those, like, you see that on FB, and
Yep.
it was all time funny. I mean, we took a video of it and said, "Abigail, what are you?" And we took pictures, and then we said, "Abigail, don't ever do that again."
Yeah, right. It's funny
It's like
once. It's funny once.
So the markers quickly, came out of the Minnie Mouse purse and are now in their correct location.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, well, I'm glad we had that Christmas cap.
Mm,
Now we can put a cap on 2022. It's the last
mhm.
episode of the year, so in tune to it for today. We're gonna run down some winners and losers of the year, our top 5 sneakers of the year, and then some other items that we can go through for just a recap of the year. Dan,
Yes.
I'll let you start us off with winners of 2022. You can go
Winners
any
of
direction you want.
Maybe I should have thought through this a little bit more. Winners of winners of 2022. Um, let's you start us off. You start
Okay.
us off on
Okay.
the winners, and I'll
I
compile the list as we
I'll
go.
say my biggest winner of 2022 in well, maybe not the biggest. The biggest brand winner in 2022 was New Balance to me. I think
Mm,
they knocked the in I don't know what the stock market says. I don't really care, but based off my feel, they overtook Adidas. Um, and they probably did in the stock market after Yeezy left too. After Ye left, sorry.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but so to me, New Balance was doing some great things. I'm not particularly in love with all of their stuff, but they have a ton of sneaker silhouettes that they can
Mhm,
dig through and produce. So them, especially with the 550. I mean, everybody copied the 550 this year.
mhm.
Everybody had something like that coming out. So that would be probably my biggest brand winner of the year was New Balance. Asics
Mm,
did some cool things with Kith. Kith has been a winner of the year for about 3 years running now too. So I'd add them to the list. They got to do
mm-hmm.
the New York Knicks, design the court and the jerseys, and have Kith night. So that's pretty awesome. Um, yeah, I'd say those were two big winners of the year. You got any others?
I think that I think that's a great list. I think the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, this is obviously a hometown situation, but their city jerseys that came out, big win.
Mm.
Sometimes those can flop pretty hard. That's a pretty big thing to say it's a winner for entire 2022, and it just came out a few weeks ago. But I would say Ukraine, big winner. Obviously, things aren't going great for them right now in terms of what's going on. But I mean, everyone thought they were going to get pancaked, and they're still good to go. So I mean, generally speaking, Ukraine winner. I have a lot of losers in mind.
All
A
right,
lot of
well,
losers.
let's just jump right into the losers of 2022 then.
All right, losers of 2022. COVID. That thing is gone. They sucked. Titans suck. They were big losers of 2022. I would say Supreme in general just kind of sucks. I mean, there's like 4 items a season that's good, but they just not great. Gas prices, big losers. Milk, eggs, huge losers. You know how cheap eggs used to be? I used to get an
Yeah,
18 count of eggs for like $3, and now I think I paid 5.79 today.
sheesh. Yeah,
Um, another
inflation. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's America, man. And some other losers of this year. The Prius. The Prius has been a big loser. I drive a 2013 Prius C. That thing just, I kind of get pancaked in there. It's a loser every year. Um, and shout out to my ex company, Kimley Horn. They were losers because I left them for a new company. So those are my losers of 2022.
I love this sneaker content in that loser list.
Kanye,
um,
huge loser. Kanye and Adidas.
Balenciaga is my ultimate loser of the year for all that ad stuff that they put in their ads. That's all I've got to say. So, yeah, I think anybody who sided with Kanye, who has an obsession with Hitler, um, that's not a good look. You're probably a loser of the year. Now, I
Mm,
understand some of the other stuff that Kanye said. I don't think everything he said was ridiculous, but yeah, you kind of lose your whole sanity plea if one of
mm.
your idols is Hitler. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, not great. Not great. You can't really do that and be like, this is cool. It's just not.
yeah,
So,
right. Um, yeah, so those are our losers of the year. I've loved your list there. That was great. All right, now we're going to a couple best of the year. We'll start with best general release sneaker of the year. What you got for that one?
um,
We
so
got a
I don't,
slide for a few of these.
was best general release of the year. I mean, are we calling the Lost and Found ones general release?
Yeah, I would say that was a GR.
You think so? Because they made so many pair.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes to the top of the list. I would also say like the turtle doves
Mm,
too.
yeah.
That's more of a personal one. I don't think that that would be considered just from the general public. I mean, sometimes I wear those turtle doves and I don't even think people know what they are because in 2015, the people who are in sneakers now don't even know. Like, sure, they maybe saw V1s, but like they've just grown up on V2s. I mean, if you're between the ages of, you know, 10 and 18 and want a Yeezy, it's like the 350 V2s. So anyways,
Hmm.
those two though were personal comps and top of the list. The Yeezy Turtle Doves and the Chicago, the
Yep. Lost and found.
yeah, Lost and Founds, Lost and Founds.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say Lost and Found as well. That or I got the Lost and Founds and the would we say Air Max 1, the crepe hemp,
mm,
crepe hemp, I
mhm,
guess.
mhm,
If that's a general release, which I would assume that's what I would categorize it as. That would probably
yep,
be up there for me as well. Both
yep.
of those were some of my favorites of this year. So
New Balance really has they've had some slappers this year for sure. They've just like they've killed it. They really have.
yeah,
I also think one that I think falls under the radar and like had this come out 5 years ago, I think this would have been just crazy. But the Tom Sachs, just the general purpose shoe,
mm,
I think all of those were really well done, and they were like reasonably priced at 110 for retail. I just think that's like a nice casual shoe. They got Tom Sachs' name on them. I don't know. I've always thought that those are super dope,
yeah.
but
I
and
don't
pretty generally
disagree. We
released, I would
had
say.
some people, and we'll shout them out later that had that as their shoe of the year. Which for me,
Ooh,
that's pretty wild. But eh, I mean, to each his own. So
that's right. That's right.
that's why that is what makes the world go round. That's what I was trying to say. It just took me a few tries.
I
We'll just blame
also
it on the
forgot.
internet. It was the internet lagging.
Ooh, do we think that Travis Scott is a winner or a loser this year? I mean,
Uh,
that's tough, right? He's 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 got to be a
yeah,
loser, right? I mean, does he always live in loser infamy, or is there some grace that we're gonna give him?
yeah. I don't know. It feels like he's definitely not where he was last year. He's
Mm,
definitely below where
yes.
he was last year.
Mhm.
Um,
I can agree with that.
People
Yep.
still buy
Yep.
his sneakers, but I think he has lost a lot. I would say he's
Okay.
loser of the year,
Okay. All right.
a loser
General
of the year.
consensus from the still dripping 2022
Yeah.
team. Your wrap up.
um, there was another loser of the year that I had just thought of and slipped my mind now when you were talking about Travis Scott. Um, yeah, can't remember it. That sucks. Oh well. All right, what do you think? Best collaboration of the year, sneaker wise. Keep it sneakers
I
if we can.
I think it has to be the Off-White Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. And I guess they're not even Off-White because 'cause they're just Virgil, but Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, like, those things, if I could get my hands on a pair of those for a reasonable price, which none of them are reasonable, so I never
Yeah.
will, but I think those are sick, and sure, call me a hypebeast, sure, call me, designer lover, whatever, but those things are sick. I love them. And
Yeah,
then
I
the second
go ahead.
one that I love, I've always loved these, I've always wanted to get a pair, the Orange Lobsters that just came out. I just
Mm,
think they're always so well done, it's no pun intended, the concept is so cool, and it's just it is one of those sneakers that I'm like, I don't care what color it is, I just always think it's awesome. So those are my 2 top ones, as they say.
yeah. Mine I get where you're going with the Louis V Air Force Ones. That's got to be on everybody's top 10 list. Probably I would say it probably is. Um, I th- my two favorites were probably the Amama 4s shown
Mm,
in the picture if
mhm.
you're watching on YouTube, and not shown in this picture is the East Side Golf. Well, I guess
Mm,
I can't put it up there, but I was gonna say the East Side Golf Jordan 1s, but I don't think those have actually released. So maybe that'll be a spoiler for 2023.
ooh.
I
Okay, okay,
correct me if
okay.
I'm wrong, but those Air Jordan like Chicago-esque colorway, not
Mhm,
really a
mhm.
Chicago, but um, that Jordan 1 high would would be on my list, but yeah, I don't think I can put it on there because it's never truly released.
Did
So
did did it
just
not
stick with the
actually
Amama
release?
4s. I
I thought it
every,
came out like in November.
so the one lows did and the 12s did. I think everything else did, unless I missed it.
Interesting.
I could have totally missed it, but
Huh.
I don't remember that one coming out. Somebody, if you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just got caught up in the Christmas spirit and totally missed it. But yeah, all of the others came out end of November, I believe.
Interesting. Huh.
And I
Well,
do. It's not on my like top 10 or anything, but I don't remember what the colorway was called, but the green Air Force One off white.
mm-hmm.
I like that
Brooklyn,
color.
maybe?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. I like that color, and I do like the lobster. I feel like the lobster colorway thing is kind of overplayed. Like maybe we could get something different to call it, but
Very fair.
I mean they've got the story, I guess. So I just keep pumping them out, and they're so sought after that I guess if it ain't
Mm-hmm.
broke, don't fix it. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
dope concept for sure.
Allegedly, the Eastside Golfs came out on November 18th.
Wow, I totally missed that. Then I wonder if they didn't come out on sneakers, but came out somewhere else. Maybe
Yeah,
on
that
their
might have been what
website.
happened. It was they're going for like 350 or so in size
That's
12.
the Jordan 1 highs.
Yeah.
Okay, 350 is not terrible. How did I miss that? I'm so disappointed in myself. One
All the
that
time
actually,
I'm gonna get on Supreme at 10 a.m. this morning. I'll just completely forget, and it'll be literally lunchtime, and I'm like, oh, today is Thursday, and I did want to try to go for that skateboard, and it's been sold out for 2 hours. So
yeah. All right. Do we want to hit top 5 sneakers, or do we want to run through some news first, and then we'll follow up with our top 5 of the year?
let's run through some news. We've been going through a lot
All
of
right.
lists.
Yep. We'll take a break from the list and let's hit some news. Biggest news: Ja Morant signature shoe came out on Christmas.
So dope.
What'd you think, Dan?
I have a terrible. This is just like someone who's so jaded in one direction. I don't know that I think John Morant could have come out with a Puma and I would have been like sick. Um, so I'm kind of just in on it no matter whatever he does. I do think I've seen some pretty funny things on Twitter about his logo, about how it's, it's Kobe upside down, it's the pentagram, it's it's all sorts of things, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the logo's awesome. I think the shoe was like fairly simple, but they'll still be able to do a decent amount. I will never understand why all of these players keep going with um, the weird strap over the top. I've never understood that. Um, but generally speaking, I love the shoe. I think it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm hoping he'll be a future intern. Dean was the first one to text me about these. Dean Huffman,
Mm,
shout out.
mm,
And my initial thoughts when seeing this. Okay, well, first the teaser of, we obviously knew we were getting this shoe on Christmas, before Christmas, because we had the shoe box with his logo wrapping paper on his
mhm.
Instagram. So dope. The video unveiling the shoes, incredible, with his daughter giving him the shoe box, and him opening it. All of that presentation was so good. This colorway, I didn't really like. I thought it was honestly going to be the Christmas colorway with the swoosh
Mhm.
color and gold in there. You got the Memphis blue. What is that? Beale Street Blues is what they call the jersey
Yep.
color.
Yep.
So it was a very Grizzly color. I guess you're hitting all the different genders. I guess there's more than just 2 now. So you're hitting all of them with this shoe. Maybe that's why it was the first colorway we saw. But so I wasn't crazy about this colorway. But when that Christmas colorway came, like when we saw those on his feet, I
Mhm.
loved those. Those were
Yep.
so dope. I would get
Yep.
that pair right now and rock
I
those
think
to hoop in for real.
the Like the piece, I totally agree with you, especially the day one, because it almost looks like the color blocking is too simplistic and they won't change like the majority of the uppers because it's that
Hmm.
entire blue piece. But then in the ones that he wore on Christmas Day, it looks like that upper has like some translucent something, at least from what I can tell.
Yeah, I couldn't
Because
tell
there was
if
like,
that was like the smoke, because on the back we had like
mm,
we want all the smoke. I couldn't tell if that was
mm-hmm,
smoke coming up from the shoe or if it was translucent, like you said.
mm.
Um,
You might be right, actually. It
but
might be
it was
just,
like a bluish color,
yep, yep. I,
like
I
an
just like
icy
that
blue
they,
color.
yep, I like that they were starting to look at doing something like that because it means in future colorways, maybe they'll not just keep it the same, the same color
Hmm.
blocking on the upper, which never a bad thing. Like to mix up a little bit. So,
Yeah, I
but
generally
so
don't
dope.
like this midsole and sole being different colors, but maybe
Hmm.
it's just this color combination that we're looking at from the first release.
Yep.
Um, but
In those
everything else I
side
think is cool.
pictures from the day one, if y'all haven't looked at it and you haven't looked at the ones, I thought that the day ones had a strap, at least from what
It
I could
it
tell.
does,
Like
especially in this picture that we're
across.
looking at on YouTube right now.
Yeah. It
It does
looks
look
like it
like it.
has a, but if you go look at the Christmas Day ones that he wore, the purple and blue, and you'll see that it's just laced up. It feels like one of those shoes that looks pretty clean from the top view, which is always of
Hmm.
utmost importance as the wearer. So I'm a fan. I kind of like too that um, kind of like how the swoosh connects in the back and goes all around, but it's also
I
like
don't know
more
if
of a
you can.
3D kind of situation. I
Right.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's like a almost like a strap on it.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
It,
so I heard this news today and I didn't know this was the case. Um, Paul George is not they're not renewing his signature line anymore.
ooh,
Doesn't this could have been a Paul George shoe.
easily,
Lined up
easily.
for Paul George, the sole is the same. You
Mm-hmm.
that like no strap, but you've got the connection that looks like a strap. It looks like I think this was the next Paul George, to be honest.
Mm,
And I don't hate it.
that's very fair.
It's still really cool. Um,
Yep, yep.
but
I think
maybe
my other
Ja got
thing
to have
too.
some say in it. But
Yeah, he
I
was
don't know.
like, "Hey, remove this strap so it's not so apparent this was an old PG."
Yeah.
Um, and they're like, "All right." They sent 100,000 pairs back to China and said, "All right, y'all need to cut these straps
Yeah.
off and resew some
Yeah,
things."
for real.
One thing that I'm really excited about, and I don't know, I guess that to some extent this has been happening, like, I don't know, I don't always feel like the clothing always follows a shoe deal with Nike. I mean, they'll have
Mhm.
some stuff every now and then. I mean, Paul George is a great example. I mean, I don't see people walking around in Paul George clothes from Nike. And I'm sure they're out there, but that's one thing that I hope they also look into and also do more of is just like Josh shirts with the logos. Because I mean, obviously Kobe has that, LeBron has that, and they're huge. But I'd love, I'd love some Nike branded Jaw apparel to be regularly available if possible.
Yeah. I do think the Jaw shirts or that logo is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
I'm sure you'll be able to get some in Memphis though.
No,
Seems
I'm
like
hoping so.
seems like
I'm
they've
hoping.
got to release it there.
I would love to know too, like what that relationship looks like since he's in Memphis and there's such a big hub of Nike here. Like I'm
Mm,
wondering if he's still having to go, if he's ever going up to Oregon, if he's ever going up to Beaverton, if he's ever, meeting at the headquarters, or if he's always doing his if they fly, if Nike flies their people here, just given the distribution center and
yeah,
all of that. But that'll
it's
be
a good
something I'll
point.
always wonder and maybe never know.
Yeah. um. Okay. Yeah. What did you think about going away from Ja but staying with Christmas? What do you think about the LeBron playing off the Grinch Kobe's? Did
Mm,
you see those LeBron 20s? They're
I
all
did
green.
not. I did not. But were those the ones that came out
I
on
think they
sneakers the other day?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
They had like
Yeah.
the red and green.
Yep. Yep. I actually
There you
had
go.
these marked as I had sneakers notify me for this pair, and then I was like, why did I have sneakers notify me for this? I
Because
still would love to get
they were like $300, weren't they? Maybe not
there was
that
something
much.
crazy. It looks like 210 on Nike's website right
210.
now.
Okay.
I will say I truly don't understand this shoe in terms of like how is this shoe made? I don't get how it's pulled together. For those of you who are just listening, look up the LeBron
20.
20s.
Yep.
It's just like it's sewn, it's woven, it's not like Flyknit, but it's not. It's just it kind of blows my mind. And this is maybe like I don't know. I just don't understand it. There's too much going on with the knit material. I think it takes away from the overall shoe, to be honest.
I had never thought about the construction of the shoe like that, but I do get what you're saying. It's not. It maybe like nothing we've seen before from Nike.
Mhm. It's very distracting. When you look at the overall shoe, the only thing I can look at is that fabric. Like, I can't look at the entire shoe, my eyes go directly to the fabric
Now that you
and
say that, it's
how it's
a lot
constructed.
more apparent on those Grinch LeBron.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, Nike went
I
back to like
just
the little ornament shoelace lock
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
middle. But yeah, that is very distracting. It's got to be a knit on it, but it's not. It's just not normal. That's odd. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm perplexed by that.
I will say, just because it is a Kobe and just because he came up with the idea, I mean, I think it would be similar if like LeBron tried to steal the PlayStation idea from who was it? Was that from Kyrie? Was that from PG?
Uh,
That was from PG.
yeah.
Um,
Originally, Kobe had some. He wore the Air Force One PlayStations, I think,
yes, yes,
not
yes,
in
yes, that's
game,
right.
but in a
Yep,
commercial. And then,
yep.
yeah, Paul George though had the PlayStation shoes.
Which those were actually thinking about those were sick.
Yeah, they
They
were.
those were sweet. I mean, the general model of shoe wasn't the best, but just how it was put together, pretty cool. But I just think all of that being said, I think the just the original Kobe Grinch, like it just has so much meaning in sneaker culture, and it's way cooler than anyone that's ever gonna ever do it again. And I'm just
Yeah,
always gonna think about that when I think of a Grinch colorway. So
yeah,
just kind of falls
yeah. I mean,
short, in
the
my opinion.
creativity that Nike had back then, I feel like was just unmatched. Just,
Hmm.
just to who is putting out a Grinch colorway? Like nobody did that. Nobody put out a green sneaker on Christmas until
Exactly,
Kobe did that, and then
exactly.
everybody was like, "Huh, it doesn't have to be hunter green. We can do other things with our." Then you saw like Yeti sneakers for Christmas
Mhm.
and Frosty the Snowman and gingerbread. I think gingerbread cookies was before the Grinch. It may have been the same year. They had those hyper dunks with the gingerbread man on them or whatever.
Yep, yep.
Um, so
I do
got
think
a
that,
lot more creative of pushing the envelope after those Kobe's came out.
yeah, most definitely. And yeah, man, those Grinch Kobe's, I mean, I think those go in the same, they're probably maybe higher, but like as the KD4s, the Nerf colorway of the
Mm,
KD4s, like the
Weathermans
Chris
too.
Midge, the origin yeah, the Weathermans, the original graffitis that LeBron came out with. Like
Oh
when I
yeah,
think of just like OG colorways, that's of at least Nike basketball shoes. Those are the ones that I'm like, holy cow. Had I been able to like know what was going on back then, I would have gotten all of those.
yeah. Oh, the Grinch Kobe's I don't think came out for a long time.
Yes, yes.
It took a few
Did they
years.
retro those last year? Like 2
Yes,
years
I think
ago?
so. We're gonna welcome Landon
Okay.
into the stream here. He can
What up,
jump
man?
on. He got a black screen, but he'll be
Landon.
here soon.
Well, I'm here.
Landon Amanda.
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
We can, yeah.
Hey, baby.
Perfect. I've got a 1-year-old here in my lap.
Oh my goodness.
I'm rocking her to sleep. This is how committed I am to the cause.
All right. Well, we'll let you just listen along, and then we're about to get to our top 5 sneakers of 2022. So
Oh, let's go.
just
That's
let
what I'm
us-
here for.
let us know when you're ready. Yeah, those Grinch shoes. Yeah, I think they did re-release last year.
It was 2020 is when they re-released the Grinch.
Okay. Yeah,
which
that
probably
is.
was like Nike probably had to go through mental gymnastics to get those things produced on time due to the vid monster. But kudos to Nike for getting it done and, enlisting all those people who are underpaid and work in terrible working conditions. So
Yeah. To me, that is the last Christmas shoe that I want. I have the KD 6 that is like the shiny red, like a Christmas ornament. I have I think they're called Hyperposits.
yes,
Rajon
I know
Rondo
exactly what you're talking about.
wore the mint green Hyperposits. Had to be 2012, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And they came through Nike when I was working there. They were half size small for me, but I bought them anyways. And it's a beautiful shoe. It is. So if I got the Kobe Grinch, I would shut down my Christmas shoe collection. It's a little much to have 3, but you can only wear them 1 month a year. Feel a little weird breaking out Christmas shoes in July or whatever. But
I have the only pair of Christmas shoes that I have right now are the Air Max 90s. They came out, I think they came out in 2020, and they're pretty gaudy and they're pretty loud.
with the snowflakes on them, right?
With the snowflakes on them, they're green, they're red, they're white.
Yep.
They have fur on the end, like the inner lining of the shoe is like
Oh, I
this
didn't know
white
that.
fur. The tongue is fur, so it's pretty aggressive when you walk around in them. But let me tell you what, I'll walk around the city streets of Memphis in those bad boys, and I'm snapping necks left and right. I mean, these people, I've never walked into a Kroger and gotten so many compliments on my shoe before.
Yeah, it is a pretty Christmas shoe. I gotta say, it's not in your face, in my opinion, but it is like very red and green. It's not a Grinch. It's not a poppin' like the Grinch. Like
yes,
the Grinch is like,
true,
whoa,
true.
those are kind of ugly, but I love them. That's a pretty shoe. I'm sorry, I'm referencing it because I'm looking at it right now, but
I think you could also get away because I think in 2020 they did like 3 of them. They did like an Air Force One High. They did
the ugly Christmas sweater looking one.
Yes. Which honestly, those Air Force One Highs are not too bad either. For those of you listening along, 2020, just look up Christmas 2020 Nike, and it'll come up with what they released. So, but yeah, that's the only Christmas shoe in my collection right now.
Yeah, not bad. Landon, you got any Christmas shoes as well? You gotta have something.
So
right?
I have Christmas shoe regrets. I had a chance at some of the ugly Christmas sweater Dunks, like one of the original pairs, and this was before Dunks went off. Just crazy. And I didn't get them, and now they're going for like a band. Something crazy.
Always buy them. Always buy the shoes.
Always do it.
All right.
That's
Since
it.
Landon,
Hey, you can never retire early if you don't buy the shoes. So buy the shoes. You know what I mean? I heard Dave Ramsey say that today on the radio. Just buy the shoes. Don't save for retirement.
pay cash.
Pay cash.
Well, since Landon's here to join us, I think we can just go ahead and jump in to the
Got it good.
Final top 5 of the year. Our top
Mm.
5 sneakers of 2022. So let's see. Do we all want to go down like each of us say our number 5 and then go to number 4? How do we want to do it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Any honorable mentions out there? I've got one honorable mention. I'll say it. My honorable mention is the Kobe Mambasita, the black and white Kobe's that came out on his daughter's birthday. So that's my honorable mention. Anybody else want to throw an honorable mention in there that's not included in their top 5? If not, Dan, hit us with your number 5.
Number 5. So, oh man, this feels wrong. The Travis Scott black, Phantom black ones.
What?
And I say that.
What?
I say that.
Get out.
Just give me 1 second. They came in the mail while I was out of town. I came back in town. I opened up the box. The box slides out. It has Travis Scott branding all over it, all black box, embossed with Travis Scott logos and Nike symbols. You open it up, you open up the box, and the shoes are wrapped in bandanas.
I
They're
did see
wrapped
that.
in
Yeah.
individual bandanas, and they each have their own, it's just like I opened them and I was like, the attention to detail and the quality of materials and the unboxing presentation and performance, I look like a freaking retard walking around in all black shoes. I can't pull them off. I'll look just dumb, but just the overall experience and looking at them, I was like, I think I like these and I might keep them and I need to hurry up and sell them. So, that's number 5 right there.
All right. Landon, you got your number 5 shoe?
Yeah, number 5. Can we do retros, or these have to be new models?
No, it can be just anything
you want.
released this year.
Cool. Air Max 97 Silver Bullets. Shout out. Haven't been retroed since 2018, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's right. Sounds right. That's a
Did
good
you
pick.
pick
That was
those
my
up?
nostalgia pick of the year.
My man, I got a pair, and I don't know if my feet are growing, like I'm a growing man, growing boy. They're too small. Last time I bought a pair of 97s, I wore 11. Now I need 11 and a half. So I actually took them back to the outlet in Cool Springs, the size 11. And the bro, I think I already told the story, but Dan wasn't here when I told it. The bro looked at them and just shut the box. Like, no reaction. Threw them on the ground with the rest of the returns. I almost said, young blood, give those back to me. Let me find someone else to return these to, because you don't deserve this.
That's a good pick. I didn't have that on my top 5. My number 5 is the Georgetown High 85s.
Oh, man.
That's a solid
that was
pair. That's a solid
sweet colorway. I've only seen the larger sizes. The shoe itself, to me, though, when I have it in hand, it looks huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's a lighter shoe, so maybe it looks bigger. So that is one thing and why I haven't made the purchase yet. But that's my number 5 shoe. So Dan, why don't you go to number 4 for 2022 sneakers?
I agree with the high 85s, though. It's almost like the cut is so different than just like the OG high that it throws something off, and it looks like pretty different. Like, not even just like, something looks a little off. You're like, something is kind of like off. It's very strange. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm gonna have to go with the Tom Sack general purpose shoe in the kind of that white cream blue colorway with the brown midsole, black outsole. I just think it's a clean pair of shoes. Really well done. Big fan. Number 4.
So former guest on the podcast, Cullen, he said the yellow Tom Sacks were his sneaker of the year. So it's Tom Sachs has a following, but that shoe it's a plain shoe, and it kind of brought the goal of it was accomplished, right? It brought some sneaker people back into the fold that was tired of all the hype.
Yep.
And so it's a good pick for where we are in 2022.
Yep. Agreed.
Landon, what's your number 4?
So that was my number 4.
Ooh,
but that's cool.
okay.
I'm gonna switch it up because I had a number 4 plan B just in case, because I figured that was gonna be in someone's top 5. I'm gonna go with the Joe Fresh Good New Balance 993s. New Balance has had an incredible year of collaboration, of just a beautiful palettes of colorways, and no better than the Joe Fresh Good. Those just beautiful pink.
The pink ones?
So good. So good. I could do a top 5 of just the. There you go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do a top 5 of just New Balance for this year. They, in my mind, they won the year.
Yep. You missed our winners of 2022, but that was my big winner in terms of brands.
Let's
I
go.
don't think you could have a bigger winner, and I'm not on the New Balance train, as if you've listened to any of our podcasts, you know. But yeah, they in terms of sneaker brands, they beat everybody this year. But the 550 took over. Everybody made a 550 or released their version of one. So yeah, I'm with you on that. My number 4 is going way off the beaten path, and it's the Mosh Runner. Specifically the either Staple Pigeon, so Mosh, the custom kicks guy, or I guess he's mainly known for custom cleats for NFL players. He created his own silhouette, and he has an off-road colorway. I think I have a picture of it. It's this one in the top left corner up here on the screen. It's like a khaki and gray colorway. And he also did a Jeff Staples collab for maybe Complex Con or something. It could have been something else. I can't remember. But the Staple Pigeon was all gray with the hits of orange and the pigeon on the back. So either one of those would be my number 4. I think that's a clean shoe. I'm really kicking myself that I didn't get one of those because they don't sell out. It's just you pre-order, and everybody who pre-orders gets one. So
what's retail on those?
I have to relook it up. I want to say it's above 200. But resale right now for those, I think is about 300.
Wow, so those resale.
Yeah, they're on StockX and everything.
Huh.
So, yeah, I like him. I've been following him for a while, and I think those shoes are really dope. They're very simple, and to me, it's similar to like a Tom Sachs of he just does different colorways. He has a ton of colorways. I don't love all of them, but there's a few that I really, really like, and those two really check the box for me. All right, number 3 then. Let's switch it up. Landon, what's your number 3? He can go first this time.
Let's go. I was afraid Dan was going to steal my number 3, so I appreciate that. I'm hoping I steal his. We'll see. Lost and Found. Got to do it.
Yeah.
Great execution all around. Amazing. What a shoe.
Yeah, that was my number 3 as well. So the detail on everything about the box, it was one of my top 2 cops of the year. So I'll leave it to Dan for his number 3 then.
I think that these flew under the radar for a lot of people, and I was actually thinking I would get them at the beginning of 2022, and then when they came around, it was just financially impossible to make that work. So I did not. But Fire Red 3s. I mean, just classic Nike on that butthole. Nike Air on that butthole and to clarify. Just a classic colorway. You can't beat the Chicago's. You can't beat the Lost and Found. That's why I have the Fire Reds at 3s and haven't mentioned those yet, but that's 3 for me.
Solid execution on the Fire Red 3s. It was a good quality pair. My nephew got those for Christmas, and he was rocking them on Christmas morning. So, yeah. Just I forgot that they had come out this year, and he showed up with them, and I was like, that is a really clean pair of shoes. And I don't think it got love. I don't feel like the release, I think it got lost in the shuffle.
Agreed. And I honestly don't even know what was around it for some reason. Like, it doesn't feel like there was like a Travis or an Off-White or anything like that. It just, yeah, just
Yeah,
lost in
it's
the
just
sauce.
like a back to school pair. I think
Yeah,
that was the
exactly.
August time frame, and what a weird
Hmm.
weird thing to think back on that nobody was really hyped for those. As hyped as you would think they were,
Even when
or
the
should have been.
even when the Black Cements came out, I mean, that was like people were, that was a situation around the Black Cements. And
Yeah.
I was thinking that for this next OG pair with Nike Air on the back, I mean, that something would happen,
Hmm.
and it was just kind of like, I mean, they still sold out, but nothing really happened.
I did hear, like, on Twitter, I saw people and Instagram commenters uh, saying, I guess the younger people in the sneaker game don't like the Nike Air on the back.
Mm,
I guess
fools.
because they've never seen that before. Before the
Mm,
cements, you had the Jumpman logo, the Jumpman
oof,
Air, and so
that's sad.
that was very weird to me. And yeah, I saw some interesting comments on different posts about that. And yeah, look up the originals. I think they're both cool. I actually like the sixes that I have. Um, they have the Jumpman on the back, and those are cool. But
Mm-hmm.
I do love the Nike Air, especially on the threes
Yep.
and fours. The Nike Air on the back looks so good. So yep,
Yep.
I'll agree with that. I'll start out. I'll start out number two. My number two is the Air Max Crepe Hemp Air Max ones. Beautiful, beautiful shoe.
Great
Perfect
shoe.
shoe. Nearly my shoe of the year. My favorite shoe that I was able to cop this year. I'll say that. So
Oof.
I've worn the heck
Again,
out of
another
those
shoe
puppies.
that I had to return because it was too small. What the heck, Nike?
Yeah,
What the
you need
heck?
to check your pituitary gland or something, man. You're growing.
Your
Your
testosterone's
ears do
off the
look a little
chart right
bigger
now,
right now.
Lando.
All right, Landon, what's your number two shoe of the year?
So, in the same vein as New Balance, ACG made just incredible strides this year. Did the collab with Supreme, right? If you have a collab with Supreme, you've made it, right? And not to say ACG hadn't made it, but it was kind of an underground niche following, right, of Nike that just that had some original models that were incredible this year. My favorite are the Locates, and it's a gray colorway. Got the hit of the pink swoosh. It's a classy shoe, similar to the Tom Sachs, right? It's very a simple swoosh trainer, but it's got a nice the undercarriage, or as we it's got a boot. It's got a boot sole, right? So it's a trainer top, but boot sole. Just that was my shoe, Mason. When you asked for suggestions on what to wear to Disney, that was the shoe that I rocked at Disney. And after 3 days of Disney, my feet were amazing. They felt great. So shout out ACG Locates.
All right. Wow, that was a surprising one for me. Dan, what's your number two shoe of the year?
I'm gonna have to go with the hated Croc.
No,
It is.
no, no.
This is
Don't.
awful.
Nah. I'm gonna have to go with Turtle Doves. Turtle Doves. I mean, again, I spoke about this earlier, but just a shoe I've been wanting for 7 years. I haven't wanted a shoe for 7 years in a long time. Got them in hand. They were just as good as I ever wanted, and paid resale. Still liked them. Still love them. Just glad they brought them back before everything went to you know what. So.
No, I don't know what you mean, Dan.
All right.
Everything's great.
Well, if I'm reading the room, I feel like we should all have the same number one shoe of the year. But I doubt that will be the case. Landon, number one shoe 2022 is
The Nike Air Kikini.
no, absolutely not the same shoe everybody else was thinking. I should have known that was coming. I thought that was coming at number 2, but
I waited
yeah,
20 years for the
okay.
shoe. 20 years. I've waited for the shoe to release.
What's
Kakuni!
have you ever been able to find them in a clearance store yet?
Nope, I'm still holding out. Dan, if you see any in the aqua or that dark blue, like it's
Mhm.
digital kind of colorway, it says Nike on the top. If you see 11 and a half, get your boy another shoe that I went up a half size in and still too small. What the heck?
You got
What kind
terrible
of
luck.
socks are you wearing? Are you wearing like wool chambered socks or
Yeah,
He's
man,
been-
smart wool, baby.
He's been on the elite socks, super elite socks.
Yeah, I wear no
He's
shows,
been-
super thin, like, and then I don't get me started. This is ridiculous, but it's supposed to be a sockless type esque shoe. It came out, with the Prestos, and so I get that it's supposed to be a little bit tighter fit. It doesn't have laces, and it's also just the most beautiful shoe. I think that's come out in the past 20 years. So,
Shut up. That is ridiculous.
I mean, what
get-
other shoe can you put on your feet, jump into a pool, and then be camouflaged instantly?
Touche, Landon. I've never heard such a terrible argument for such an awful shoe.
Have you ever wanted to jump in the pool and then when you're swimming around, people think that you just have nubs instead of feet? Well, these are the shoes for you.
Hey, just call me Lieutenant Dan.
Hey, there's
All
nubs
right.
over there. She lost her feet in the battle.
Dan, what's your number 1 shoe of 2022?
Number 1 shoe. It has to be Lost and Found for me. I've already worn those things like 30 times. I try to pull them out like at least twice a week. Big fan. Love them. Execution great. Everything that everyone's already said. I think they're gonna like age very well, and can't wait for them to continue to get beat up.
The only thing that I didn't love about those, or not didn't love about those, that I don't love about Jordan 1s is I don't like lacing them up myself.
Mm,
They're still in the box. I was going to wear them for Christmas, but I didn't have time to lace them on up.
That's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment. Thank you for acknowledging my feelings there.
Well, that's why you got to go with the Air Kukunis. No laces.
plug and play, as they say.
Yep. Anyways, my favorite shoe, and I mentioned this on the best collab of the year. This shoe has grown on me. The first look, I did not think these were worth much, but the A Ma Maniére 4s, I think it is a beautiful shoe. It's the more I see that color, the more I like it. So to me, that is perfect for A Ma Maniére. They get to use their color. I thought it was a lot at first. I'd like to have a little more cream on it, but
That's what she said.
I knew I was setting somebody up there. Regardless, that is the shoe of the year for me.
Well, I
Nice.
will concur. All jokes aside, for sure, shoe of the year, hands down.
Oh, okay.
I'm not disagreeing. Everyone hear me out and please don't raise your pitchforks on me. All I can think about when I look at those shoes is Spyro. Just that big purple dinosaur.
Oh, I
dragon.
can't unsee that. Oh no.
Isn't it terrible?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, I'm back
For
to the
some
Kukunis.
reason, I don't know
Shoe of the year.
why, but like for some reason, I just look at those A Ma Manières and I'm just like, I cannot not think about Spyro, Mr. Dragon Boy,
Hey,
and I'm sorry.
question: Is that
I
the
just-
best?
Is that what, Landon?
Is that the best A&M Jordan that they've released?
No.
I don't think so. I think the ones and threes. The ones I don't like pictures of, but when I saw those in hand, that it is a beautiful shoe. For me, I think it's the threes though that are the best.
Agreed.
But yeah, those ones are sweet too. Yeah, but I mean the twos are good. It's just a two, right? I mean, there's a select few that really love twos, and I like them, but I'm not one of them. But speaking of that, I'm going to run down some of we posted this question of shoe of the year for 2022. We got a good amount of responses. The Sneaker King of the South, self-proclaimed Sneaker King of the South, Brian from Free Agency, had the J Balvin 2s with the light up tongue and everything. He had those. Tyler King had the Ama 4s, as well as Gotta Chill Cam. I'm not sure who he is. We haven't had him on before.
Gotta Chill Cam, thank you for listening. Keep interacting with us. We love
Shout
you.
out. Cullen, I mentioned this. He went with the yellow Tom Sachs. Tom Sachs as well for Matt Clark and the Lost and Founds.
Ooh.
We had a few jokes in there. Those, yeah. Seth Rolling had a good one at Georgetown ones. And then we had some of Hayes' family members, custom Chuck Taylor All-Stars, the Houndstooth colorway, and some Nike Monarch 4s.
The heck out.
And then we had Charlie Sells with Reeboks with the strap as an ode to Flo Rida.
Oh my god.
Circa 2006. And then I think I've met this guy before. I think it's one of your friends, Landon, Philip Grimsley.
Let's go, Phil.
He said you can take that back. He said the Lightning McQueen Crocs.
Yikes. Yeah.
So few jokers in the chat, but overall a pretty good list for those who are tried and true for the happy hour.
Shouts out to everyone interacting. Continue to do so.
Amen.
Even
Shouts
if you
out to
talk
Phil.
about-
I didn't know he was falling, still dripping. We got to up our game, man. Shoot.
Well, with that, I've got one last question. We're a little over our time frame, but who cares? It's the last episode of the year. If we're building, we all need to come to a consensus on this. If we're building a time capsule of sneakers for the year 2022, what shoes do we have to have in it? I'll start us off. You got to have the Panda Dunks. Those are a dime a dozen right now. So I'll put in the Panda Dunks for us, and we got 4 left on what we have to put in our
New
time
Balance
capsule.
2002R, just a regular gray pair. They came back, made a huge comeback this year.
Yeah. I would say if we're putting a New Balance in, maybe we can have 2 New Balance though. I would say you got to put in the 550s. Some colorway of the 550s. Maybe what's the first ones they came out with? The
burgundy ones?
Leon Dior or Leon Dor, or however you say that. Yeah, those burgundy ones too. So, we got 2 New Balances, a Panda Dunk. We got to throw the Lost and Founds in.
Lost and Founds got to go. I think we got to go Louis Vuitton Air Force One. I mean, when we look at those in 20 years, those things are going to be $400,000.
I think that was pretty quick. I think we can all agree on those 5. If there's anything else, throw it out there. But
we did.
I'm struggling.
I mean, the reverse mocha, Travis Scott won those. Those were dope. But again, I think like the highs. I think the original highs and the original lows, slap harder. Those are more memorable.
Yeah. The only one, and this is just purely for the future. If Ja Morant is a top 15 player, do you have to put his shoe in there? Like, looking forward, like you wouldn't want that not to be in there.
You can't look forward. You just got to.
You can't. You just got to.
Now.
Yeah.
Here now.
That's fair. I understand that.
Now I will say, and I just gave Dan so much crap. Do you throw in the Bimberry whatever Crocs? I mean, I gotta
That
say,
was a big. It's definitely either
I think there was a
2021
new
or
pair.
2022.
There was a new pair that came out every week. I mean, those things, you could probably go to Goodwill and find a pair of those.
They were coming out a lot. Yeah, I agree.
They're everywhere.
hold up though. Do you put a Yeezy in? I mean,
Ooh,
The end of an era.
like the last model that came out under his name.
yeah. 5 seems
What
like
was
there's not enough.
Sand Mist turkey broth or something? Is that like the last colorway he came out with?
Or the turtle doves.
Oats milk.
Throw the turtle doves in there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's
I would probably throw some Wave Runners in there, but I don't think Wave Runners came out this year in the regular.
Some came out.
The orange ones came out.
The Wave Runner colorway came out for 700s on his birthday when they did Yeezy Day.
Then perfect. I think
So
you got to throw those
drop
in there.
those. Okay.
All right,
Okay,
so now we're up
that's
to
fair.
12 shoes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Our time capsule. We're gonna have to get a excavator to dig up enough space for this time capsule, but we finally did it. I don't know if you're keeping track at home. You can tell us what all the shoes that we put in there, but we just threw out about 12 for our time capsule. With that, I think we're good. I mean, anybody got some free shout outs? I do have. You know what? Let me go with my sneaker, more than sneakers moment of the week. This isn't a kind one. May hurt a few feelings here, but let me tell you, I just got to tell you this story. It cracked my wife up a little bit, but we're doing some last minute Christmas shopping, and we're going to the J. Crew outlet. It's new in Brentwood. Didn't really find much, but we found one item I thought was good. I think it was a scarf for my wife. She picked it out, so she just thought it was a good buy. So we go up there, everything's on sale, and I'm waiting in line, and there's this lady to the right of me. She's looking at like a fancy looking flask and some sunglasses, all the stuff that's like close to the register, but not really in the line. It's like just out of the line. Like there's a person in front of me, then there's this lady over to my right, and then there's me. And so I'm thinking I'm third in line. Well, this lady also thinks she's third in line. And the way this ties back to sneakers is, normally I would kind of like put my shoulder in front or like give her a hint that like, no, I've been standing here. I wasn't shopping around. I'm in line. You can get behind me. But it was Christmas time. So I was like, nobody's in a hurry. We're just going to keep it peaceful. But also, this woman had on some regular, what does Dan say? Regular sweatpants and some Merrell hiking boots. Now there was a little snow on the ground, but I'm just gonna be honest. You hate me if you want to, our female listeners. When I saw a female in some big old hiking boots, I just decided that it wasn't my day to get beat up by this woman in line. So I was not about to say anything, good day, bad day, any kind of day to her, because I just thought one of those shoes was going to end up, where the sun don't shine. And Merrells aren't a good look. I'm just going to be honest. If you're shopping around, maybe it's the Wilco way, but I know Landon thinks it's the worst place on earth. But yeah,
all I can say is on brand, on
cloud. So, I'm just
not
going to pick.
Merrells?
No, they're the lace all the way up, high top hiking boots.
She was ready.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna make a face when she cut me in line.
She was looking at a flask.
She was ready to go to steeplechase.
I think it was a Christmas gift.
No, that's for her hike.
Her hike up the hill to steeplechase to watch the horses run.
I'm
She's up
telling
there in
you,
LLB, a hat, and her Merrells.
The Merrells, man. those could do some work, and it just terrified me to see this lady in those. And so I just mind my own business, acted like I wasn't in line for a second so she could go check out and everything, and then we went on our merry way. But just thought that was a good story to tell on the pod, and that was my more than sneakers moment of the week. Anybody else want to wrap this with this might be one of our longer episodes of the year.
Hey, I've got a Still Dripping Cards shout out the Twitter account story. We had some friends over tonight that have kids in like middle school age range, and I pulled out all my old Pokemon cards. And these kids, you would have thought I was pulling out bars of gold, showing these young bloods stuff they'd never seen before. And I started pulling out boxes of unopened packs of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, these weren't your old Pokemon cards. Quit acting like they were your old ones. These are your new Pokemon cards.
Well, it was a mix, okay? The new and the old, okay? Get out of here, I swear. I'm about to put my Merrill boots on and come see you. And so they saw a bunch of unopened packs. Like, oh, this is so awesome. And I was like, man, they're this excited about just like getting to hold these packs. I look at them and I go, you want to rip some packs? And they went, wow! Just lost it. And they spent the next 2 hours ripping packs. One of the kids found a card that was worth like 3 times what I'd paid for the pack. And I was like, you know what? Just let it roll, baby. They're like looking them up on eBay. And I'm like watching money just fly out the window. But it's all about their happiness. And at the end of it, Magnolia was like, man, that was so much fun. So you know what? I hope I taught her today that it's better to give than it is to receive, or that just makes terrible investments.
Hey, that was a really good lessons learned. I'm good to wrap it on that. Unless Dan, you have a tender sneakers more than sneakers moment of this.
I
week.
have it's going to be more of a sneaker massacre. I'm going to have to find something in me in order to actually purchase what I'm going to have to purchase. I'm supposed to, in September, walk from rim to rim, the north end to the south end of the Grand Canyon in a single day. And I don't think I'm going to be able to handle that wearing Jordan 1s or any Nike-related product. So I might have to go to the Merrell side or to the Teva side, basically just where people in hell reside, to buy this pair of shoes at REI or some other establishment, and it's getting me worried. But that's not more than the sneakers. It's not a positive thing. It's mostly a negative thing. But I am going to have to start wearing these boots pretty regularly in order to hike 26 miles in a day. So,
dude, check out ACG. They got you.
You think ACG can handle that?
Probably not.
Maybe if you're doing a leisurely stroll through the mountains.
I get a blowout like 2 miles in, and I have 24 miles left in the day.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
So all right, well,
it was
we'll try to keep you updated.
It was my 62-year-old father-in-law's idea, so here we are, about to do it.
All right, very nice. Well, next week we will go over some resolutions. So if you need us to hold you in check on some resolutions, we got you.
Landon, I've gotten a little fat, so I need to trim down a little. So,
hey, I got a surprise for you boys.
Okay, well,
I didn't think I could pull this out this quickly, but it just hit me where they were.
Landon is going through some Merrill boots. I don't know. Those look absolutely ridiculous. Do not buy those.
No. Look, it's got the Vibram sole. Look at these things, baby. Completely Gore-Tex, 100% waterproof. Get you a pair of these, Dan. I did a 14er in Colorado in these, and they're incredible.
The Merrill going to look like a duck-billed platypus walking around the Grand Canyon.
I bought those things in 2007. and they are still waterproof to this day, still in one piece. The soles are not falling off. I mean, it's remarkable, the quality. I mean, this thing could withstand the blast of an atomic bomb, I think.
And thank you for listening to the Still Drippin' Happy Hour. This is your host, Mason. We really appreciate you listening to us ramble on about Merrells and everything else that we talked about today. If you're viewing us on YouTube, I'm sorry. I'm very distracted because Landon is now sniffing his 2007 Merrells and pretending to lick the sole. Regardless, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at StillDrippinTN.
Please.
Remember,
like,
please go to
subscribe,
iTunes.
Follow, subscribe, rate.
Yep,
Do
everything
it all.
that Dan
Comment,
just
subscribe,
said.
interact.
Leave us a review. And we had a few more countries listen recently. Our first African nation, first listener in the continent of Africa. So I think
Djibouti?
I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was
Zimbabwe?
It wasn't Zimbabwe. It was one of those northernmost countries on the northern coast of Africa, but I don't fully remember. Yeah, something like that. Regardless, I'll have it next. I'll have an update for you guys next week. Thank you for listening. You've already heard enough of us, so we're gonna skip the rest, and we're just gonna let this outro ride. Hit him with a little Italy right here.
The
It
dirty
could be
times
anywhere in the
of
world.
2022. The dirty
Nope.
times of 2023 are quickly approaching. It's heavy on our hearts. We're looking up. We're looking in the dark.
Go, Dan. Keep going.
Cheetos are calling my name. I'm eating fruit snacks in the back of my hunchback. It tastes so good. Fruit in my mouth. Explosion of flavor. Like Flavor Flav in the early 2000s. I'd be whipping them chains. I'd been them down. What?
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next year. Peace.
Love you all, babies.